In this lesson, you will get a quick overview of the three different entry types. As you begin mapping out your trades, it's important to know which entry to use and when to use it. As we take another look at set, stop, entry, and target, we see entries are a critical component of our trade construction. Now, when combined with a target and stop loss placement, we can begin to quantify our risk and reward on every trade, as well as assess the probability of our entry. This is why entries are so important. The OTA Core Strategy includes any one of three entry types for long or short positions. The first entry type, or number one, based on the little example that you can see below, is a proximal entry. It's named as such because we look to enter the trade once price reaches the price point associated with the proximal line of the zone. Proximal entries may also be referred to as limit entries because we'll be using a limit order for this trade entry. The second entry type is the number two entry, or zone entry. It's named as such because in this case we look to enter the trade somewhere inside the zone, not at the proximal line, but somewhere between the proximal and the distal line. This type of entry is a little trickier, but can be used as a limit or market order. Finally, we have entry number three, or confirmation entry. This can be the same price as the proximal entry, but at a different time. In this scenario, we wait for price to come back to the zone, then turn around and switch directions. The entry would be made as price makes its way out of the zone. Confirmation entries are a bit more challenging from an execution perspective because you would have to use market orders if you were watching the trade, or use stop orders if you were planning a set it and forget it trade. We'll take a look at both of those later on. During the course, we will use all three of these entry types in order to tailor each specific trade. Now, the goal of all of this is to find the right entry, which will allow for the maximum reward potential with the minimum amount of risk. As we'll discuss shortly, each of these entries has some advantages and disadvantages, which we'll go over in the next video. Before you move on, be able to identify entry types 1, 2, and 3, proximal entry, zone entry, and confirmation entry for long and short positions at supply and demand zones. Hope to see you in the next video.